What happens when a promoter texts you, I'm working on this event and we'd love to have a guitar player from the district play this beautiful and legendary status song. I thought of you, what do you think? And at the same time that I'm really excited to do it and even think to myself, I have the perfect guitar for it, that I had made for these specific scenarios and you wouldn't even imagine, but I love the song and I've been wanting to cover it for years. There's only one problem, I look at my schedule and calendar and between work and all sorts of other projects, I only have a maximum of 10 days to work on it. Crazy, right? Perhaps. This is what this documentary is all about. This is an obvious example of what I like to call the autopilot syndrome. Nothing very crazy here. This might be the only time I have to practice.
I left my backpack at home.
My computer just can't handle it. You really can't tell I'm sick. So update, it sucks ass. It sounds really, really bad. Gonna have to figure out another solution. Good morning, everyone. It's around 8:20 a.m. and I packed all the gear last night. I just need to put it in the car. In some ways, we're taking more stuff than I would appreciate, but in some ways, we're just taking basically the same thing, just in a different way. Of course, there's the case for the 7-string guitar in there, and inside the case, there's all the cables I'm gonna need, because, you know, there aren't a lot of cables. And I got some extra stuff here. The laptop, an outlet, plugging in thingy, I don't know how you call this in English, to be honest, and the studio speakers, which have a rating of like 50 watts if I'm not mistaken, which is not a lot, but I think it's probably more than necessary for this sort of environment. Also a black shirt over here, because it is at least somewhat important for you to care about your appearance, not in like a fashion sense or anything like that, but because when it comes to vibes and aesthetics, you kind of want to think about that too. The black shirt is not too fancy, but it's also a bit formal, just like the music video for my song Harkening Back to Us, which kind of mimics this guitar, a mix of modern and traditional. The black shirt is a bit traditional, but at the same time, I am wearing these like more modern cargo pants. Not sure how great of an angle that was, but I'm sure you'll see more of me throughout the day. I'm going to go put everything in the car, have some breakfast, and go pick up our cameraman and follow from there. I don't really get nervous before gigs, so I can't really say I'm nervous, but if I were to describe it, I'm probably more nervous about today than any other gig I've played before. But considering what you've seen in the vlogs and all the problems we had to work through, plus my lack of time to prepare for this properly, I think it makes sense, right?
Now listen, I got it from inside the house, outside the studio, so you didn't really saw me pack the chair. And you're probably gonna start thinking, Mark, why are you gonna take a chair? First of all, because I feel like it's the environment where you don't play standing up all rockstar-like. I feel like it doesn't make a lot of sense. I kind of want to guarantee I have a chair to sit on rather than just sitting on the floor or something. And I know some of you are gonna be asking, well, shouldn't the people who hired you get a chair for you? Well, hopefully, yeah, but because I'm not playing in a concert hall or anything like that, I'm playing in a museum. I'm not sure if they have chairs in the museum, or if the chairs aren't like office chairs that have the armrest that you then gotta sit awkwardly with the guitar on. So I'm gonna take a chair because I want to have a chair and I want to make sure I have a chair. And if you've seen my videos, you've probably seen this chair. It's a very cheap IKEA chair that I've used in pretty much every single video of Red Wicker Demos Volume 3. So there you go. It's part of my Staff and Road crew. It's a friend of the channel. And it actually happens to fit exactly within the dimensions of my trunk. And I know some of you are going to be asking too, hey Mark, wouldn't you have a sleeve for this laptop? Wouldn't you have like a backpack that you can throw it in? Probably, but I didn't think of that, and I don't have enough time to go look for one right now. And I'm sure there's a place in there where I can keep it stuck like neatly between like a shirt or some jacket or some bags or something like that. So I'm sure we're going to get there nicely. Like, hey, see? Garden pillow. You always should thank your moms for having useless stuff around the house. Laptop couldn't be more protected with rubber feet here and there. Pillow, chair. That shit ain't moving anywhere. Now, if you've seen the demo/review of my custom 7-string Quicksilver guitar, if you watched it the whole way through, you might have noticed me mentioning that the case is actually pretty small when considering the size of the guitar. And that's true, but even then, it doesn't fit in the trunk of my car. Now, if I am going to be fair and honest, with my hard cases for my Fender guitars, I'm not lying to you, they fit like by the millimeter on the front of the trunk here. Like, if I try to put those cases in slightly sideways, it doesn't fit. It has to be literally like completely parallel to the trunk, completely horizontal, not vertical, otherwise it won't fit in. And I can only fit up to 2 in there. So with this case being a little bit bigger, what I've been doing with it is that I just throw it within the back seats, and I put the seat belts looped around the case so it doesn't wiggle around too much. And there you go. Everything packed in and tucked in nicely. The only thing that I'm missing is you guys. And our cameraman for the day, but we'll go get him after breakfast. I noticed now while driving that while I was packing everything, I left my backpack at home. And truth be told, I don't really need the backpack. I mean, it would be handy because I have a power bank in there, some extra like phone charging cables, stuff like that. I was intending on bringing it, I just kind of forgot. But hey, when was ever a man hindered by a lack of house keys, wallet, and other stuff like that? There he is, our cameraman extraordinaire. Hi, David. How's it going? How's it going?
So we just got to the place. It's actually a pretty fancy ass place. Makes sense for a museum, I guess. Never heard of this place, and our cameraman here has never heard of it either. And we live pretty nearby, like 20 minutes away, half an hour away. Not even half an hour away. And we've never heard of this place, but we're just uncultured like that, so it's not really surprising.
Even though I just told you earlier that it is kind of important to think about your looks and your appearance, I honestly didn't notice that I had a stain on my t-shirt, because if you look at the vlog earlier, when I was carrying the stuff, my t-shirt was clean. It happened during breakfast, and I honestly didn't notice it. If I did, I obviously wouldn't go into a professional setting with a huge stain on my t-shirt, but yeah. Even Ricardo, our cameraman, I was like, bro, why wouldn't you tell me about the t-shirt being stained? And he was like, oh, I just assumed since you're gonna wear a shirt that you just brought a t-shirt that was kind of like already dirty, so like if you dirtied it up while carrying some gear and it got even more dusty or dirty, then it wouldn't really matter. And I was like, yeah, sure, I get that, but even then, it was a huge ass stain. So yeah, take my advice about caring about your appearance in a professional setting, but at the same time, don't take it from a dude who doesn't even notice stains from breakfast.
We're gonna be loading all the stuff into the main hallway, and yeah, try to set up all the things as fast as possible, because we're not late, but I kind of feel like we're a bit late for all the setting up we're gonna be doing. Well, the budget better. Okay there, I kind of have to step in here because as you just saw like the whole montage time-lapse of me setting up everything, I was just going to show you the footage of me playing it live. I did set up two cameras, not only the one that you just saw, but also Ricardo, my cameraman, was standing in front of me with my phone, not only with a better mic so that I could have a different audio for me to blend in, but also to have a different camera angle, but we weren't expecting a couple of technical difficulties. Mainly this, which, like, don't photographers know to not step in front of the camera? Don't they deal with that every single day? But also, like, they knocked down my extra angle. Sure, it was a mistake, they did it because they didn't really notice, but, like, it fell, and when they put it back together, it's not even the same angle. Like, they didn't think to look to see if it was recording me, because, like, even if for some reason it wasn't my camera, it was a camera that, I don't know, someone in their organization team set up, and it was for some reason trying to record the people coming in through that angle, like, don't you think it would be important to record me as well? Like, you know, I have no fault with this dude, because he's a member of the team and they all treated me very nicely, but like I just completely lost all my footage basically. Yeah, I can blend some of the phone footage that Ricardo was doing while people aren't just crossing over the camera all the time, but yeah, that kind of ruined the experience a little bit. I thought of recording a pseudo music video playthrough like I did with Bread Baker demos, but I kind of feel like it doesn't really match the vibe. Like it's not going to feel like it belongs in a 10-day documentary experience, so I think I'm going to do something different, which hopefully you guys will appreciate and I think will be somewhat cool. So in a way for us to still have an interesting video, here's what we're going to be doing. You're going to be listening to the final official take of the song, which has bits and pieces of our live recording that we did at the museum, and some other bits that I will explain later in the section that I recorded with Ricardo as kind of like a final chapter to this whole situation. So yeah, not exactly the idea that I had in mind, but I hope it works. Alright, so. Agora tens de olhar para a câmera ali, não para a tua cara, porque senão vais ficar tipo. Googleais. Exactamente. So yeah, it's the final part of the last video we're going to be making. I'll probably do some other updates and side commentary because, we didn't talk much throughout the main video, at least for today, because, I was just very busy trying to set up everything, which, surprisingly, everything worked according to plan. Usually these things, they're, very risky to do, no sound check. I was glad I was able to check if the Quad Cortex interface was still saved on the laptop, which it was. I didn't have to, save anything new. We got here pretty early because Felipe, the promoter, was like, get there around 9:30, 9:45, and my thought process was like, okay, it's probably going to start at 10, but no one really starts at 10, but I think they started pretty close to 10, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember being like, okay, it's pretty chill, they haven't arrived yet.
Eu vou te ensinar quando estivermos perguntar.
Okay.
And then I was setting up all the stuff, and I was like, oh yeah, cool. I'm gonna go switch from my t-shirt to my shirt and do all the whole thing. And then they show up and they're like, yeah, so we're gonna bring the people in. I was like, what? Sure, give me 5 minutes. And they're like, yeah, no, now. And I was like, okay, sure. So I just rushed to go put on the shirt. And even then, Filippo was kind of like, where the fuck is he? Which, it's part of the ordeal, I guess. But, yeah. Now, there's a little bit of a miscommunication here going on. And listen, I'll accept the blame because I was somewhat stressed trying to set up everything that I kind of didn't hear them right. Because after reviewing the footage, I kind of get what happened and how it was kind of my wrong. Because they were basically like, so can we get the people in? And I was like, oh yeah, you can get people into the entry hallway where people can get their tickets to the museum and stuff like that, because it wasn't as hot inside as it was outside. I thought that's what they meant, not can we get people coming in here, And when it was that moment oh yeah, we'll bring people in, and I was like, yeah, of course. I'm gonna be playing in this space, so people can be all around me. Yeah, that's fine for sure. And if people want to go up the stairs and wherever, that's fine too. That's the way I understood it. Looking back at the footage, I can understand how that's definitely not what they meant, but it's my problem. In the vlog with Ricardo, I'm like, yeah, how will this happen and whatever. I didn't have any time to set up everything. I'm sure that if I told them hey, listen, I need some extra 5 or 10 minutes, I would guess they would probably be in a time crunch of some sort, but they would probably accommodate it.
Oh, and also I think we should give a shout out to my Luis Silva guitar. In fact, it's right there. It's just laying there because it needs a string change. Because you can see the exact moment where I came in after rushing to put a shirt on, and I didn't even have time to tune the guitar. Sure, I had been playing it yesterday, so it was kind of in tune, but I probably didn't even check if it was in tune the day before. And look at that. It not only happened to be in tune, but perfectly in tune. I love that guitar. It very quickly turned to be probably my favorite guitar, or at least the one where I feel the most inspired to play. It just feels like home.
Performance-wise, it really wasn't that cool. I mentioned yesterday on the vlog that I really needed to keep my focus, and I really had to make sure I didn't make any mistakes because I wasn't locked in, and I was completely unlocked in. I couldn't be more out of focus, which, it makes sense. I'm not particularly surprised, but yeah, I was kind of hoping to get it a little bit right. Completely forgot about that. Okay, maybe a little bit over dramatic. It wasn't that bad, but yeah, at the time it really felt like it wasn't as cool as it could have been of a take. Which brings me to say, the full recording isn't really perfect when it comes to guitar playing. There's some mistakes in there. There's some things that I would change if I could. Not even talking arrangement style, but like I said, this is a live take from pseudo 10 days of working on it. It's not a project that I've been working for years or trying to work on. It's just something cool that I decided to try out. And like I mentioned in the vlog, or am going to mention depending on where this gets cut in, it's an experience. And for me, it's fun to look at this experience and be like, hey, this is what happened in those 10 days. Cool. Near the last chorus, started not hearing right because the room wasn't very good acoustics wise, a lot of natural reverb, and I couldn't really cut any of it out by cutting some low end and shelving some frequencies out because I didn't have enough time. But yeah, I think overall, people enjoyed it, and it's one of those things when you make your own arrangement, people don't really know what your arrangement sounds like, so if you fuck it up, unless you fuck it up really hard, most people ain't really gonna notice. Hopefully, as you're watching this video, my interpretation of the song is released, and you can go check it out anywhere you listen to your music at. As much of today's recording as possible, get the experience of the live feel. And yeah, let me know what you thought in the comments. I didn't want to not mention that we got a little bit of a swag bag. Yeah, there we go. Funny tote bag. Some cultural stuff to it. Pretty neat if you care about these things. So we're gonna do, I guess, a pseudo unboxing, or what would it be? An unbagging?
Unbagging.
An unbagging.
And tote bagging.
Yeah, and an untote bagging of whatever they got me. So we got musical guide, 15 musical personality. Led Zeppelin, Genesis, okay, Beatles, Rolling Stones, John Coltrane,
George Palmer.
Yeah, and George Paul, some Portuguese artists as well. I'm guessing this is
No, I'm guessing he picked.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Escolhas.
Oh, there you go. Big name artist, or at least relevant name artist. Portuguese artist, by the way. And whatever he suggests you listen to. These are a lot of pages. This is way too much stuff. Okay, this is kind of cool. I mean, if you're into music like I am, it's cool to see everyone's recommendations and stuff. And even to learn about new artists. Like, there's plenty of artists here that I don't know anything about. So it would be cool to check out. I mean, on one hand, meh, but pretty cool culturally. There you go.
It's Spotify Unwrapped.
Yeah, yes.
Fnac edition.
Batteries. Cool. I mean, you know what it is? I think since they're doing like a camera shoot,
Yeah.
this is probably for the cameras, right? They probably just got the camera toes back. I mean, they look like cool batteries, not gonna lie. Better than the ones I used, was it? Let's see here. Oni, your money your way. Oh, okay. It's a notebook out of recycled paper. Okay. So little like post-it notes out of recycled paper and little recycled pencil. I mean, listen, it makes sense according to this type of chain of stores, right? They have to be ecologically friendly and whatever. Like, it's and it has a magnet for your fridge. So you put this on your fridge.
You can keep notes.
Yeah, and you can keep notes and stuff. My mom's gonna love this for sure. What else? Also from Wani, this is for the photographer stuff. If one of your pictures gets selected, you get to win some sort of awards or prizes or stuff.
We didn't take pictures, so.
I don't know about you, but I suck at taking pictures and recording videos. So, by the way, you should leave like a shout out to Ricardo in the comment section below because he was our cameraman not only for today, but for pretty much every single song in Brad Baker Demos Volume 3. He was a big help. I mentioned it in another video, which you probably didn't watch, but I shouted you out in another video. Yeah, there's the little thingy that says Mark because now I'm part of the staff, I guess. Oh, of course, and I got paid. I'm gonna be honest, I knew I was going to get paid, but it doesn't say how much I got paid.
Once again, Mark from the future here, and I got paid 50 euros, which isn't a lot, but at the same time, it's alright for like just a couple of hours of going and playing a song. And like, yeah, I went through all the effort of making a super cool version and whatever, but in technicality, maybe it wasn't required. Like, I could have just learned the song and played it any other way, not take any gear, not worry about it for like 10 days. And 50 bucks for all that work ain't too bad. And for someone who originally was expecting to not get paid at all, I think it's a fair deal, especially considering something that I'll mention after this portion. But I want to let you know that those 50 bucks actually helped funding the 80 euros basically that a copy for Death Stranding 2 for the PS5 was around at that time. Kinda crazy that games are 80 bucks right now, but anywho. In some ways, it's kinda cool because I did something for a cultural event and I spent it in something cultural for me. It was an investment expense on my own artistic enrichment, and I gotta say, Death Stranding 2, pretty cool. In some ways, better gameplay than Death Stranding 1, but it just lost the charm in some ways. But hey, we love Kojima in this household, so we're not gonna complain. And even though he says he doesn't want to do it, I kinda hope he does a Death Stranding 3.
But honestly, like, Felipe, she is really nice to me all the time. She's been super supportive of the whole Brad Baker Demos projects and stuff. So she told me, like, hey, listen, we don't have the budget. I would have pressed, like, X'd out on that because Fnac has budget to pay me. But yeah, I would have come and played without receiving any compensation just because she asked. But
I do this because it drives me everywhere, so.
in case you want to encourage Ricardo to take his driver's license so I don't have to drive him everywhere all the time, you know, you leave it in the comment section as well. Now I want to give a special shout out to this lady whose name I completely forgot because I'm super awful with people's names. Like, I'll see someone's face and be like, yeah, I definitely know you from somewhere, or even like best case scenario, I'm like, oh, I know you from this specifically, but I'm very bad with people's names. She was amazing. Like, watching back the footage, like seeing her in the back, she was like, yeah, this is really cool. Like, she was enjoying what I was doing. Like, this is kind of an example of what we do this for. I did my own arrangement and my own version just because I thought it was cool, because I wanted to do it. I didn't care what other people think, but seeing that people enjoyed it and seeing people's reaction to it, like, yeah, obviously during the photo shoot, people were enjoying it, people were taking photos, people like clapped at the end. Some people didn't really care, as it happens in audiences, but like, a special shout out to this girl because like, she was amazing. She came and like thanked me for the performance and tell me like that she really enjoyed it, like when I finished playing too. And I of course appreciate that she took the time to tell me that she enjoyed it, but like, watching the video, like, special shout out to her. And there was also this fun moment with her and one of her colleagues where I wished was caught on camera. In some situation, her and her colleague were dancing. I kind of like just jammed along and gave her some music. So like, hey, yeah, Marco can accompany us, right? And it was really fun. I enjoyed the vibe of the whole team and chemistry. And even when Ricardo and I, like, we packed all of our things and we were going back to the car, some members of the team and the staff just came by and were like, thank you again for everything that you did. We appreciate that you took the time and effort to help us out. I talked about before how Filipa had actually selected me between like other musicians of Viseu that participated in another Fnac contest for me to go show my Brad Baker Demos project. And she was really nice back then. She was really nice here too. But like, the whole team, they all treated me really nicely. I really appreciate that they took the time to be nice, you know. Not every employee likes to do that nowadays. The staff of the museum were really nice too. The place is pretty and it has some important historical significance, not only in Portugal in general, but also in our district. It was a museum dedicated to Aristides Sousa Mendes, an important figure in Portuguese culture during the Holocaust. I'll leave a brief clip out of the presentation of one of the museum staff, but please feel free to do some of your own research as well.
Adivinhem que esta família também era muito apaixonada por música e estamos precisamente naquela que era a zona de bailes da Casa de Educação. Os 15 filhos de Aristides, todos tinham 2 cursos superiores, um curso de universidade e um curso de conservatório, que eram todos apaixonados por música e todos tocavam um instrumento musical. Portanto, há aqui uma ligação forte entre a música e a família Sousa Mendes. Os maiores portugueses de sempre, e em 1940 alteraram o rumo da história contra ordens superiores, que salvou perto de 30 mil pessoas do Holocausto Nazi.
And if you're in the area, go come up to check the museum, and even if you want from some other country, you want to like give a donation to the museum or something like that, I'm guessing they would really appreciate that too. But yeah, I mean, overall thoughts, it was fun. It was a cool experience. Like I mentioned in the first part of the vlogging series, I was expecting to cover this song at some point. I think this song is pretty cool. I kind of want to change it now. Like I kind of want to do a better job where I'm not just restricted to 10 days of working on it, but I kind of feel like that's kind of what's fun about it, is what can we do in 10 days. I'm sure some of you guys could have done better in 10 days, and if so, do that challenge yourselves and show us what you got, because like in some ways I don't really care. Like, you know, if you're just gonna complain, just complain in your own platform, I guess. Thanks again, Ricardo, for all of your help. You're the boss. Thanks, Filipa, again for inviting us. Thanks
Fnac.
Exactly. Thank you, Fnac, for being a platform not only for events like this, but culture in general. It's something that's important, even if people do complain about these things. Like, I don't know. I mean, for Americans watching this, it's kind of weird, but imagine like Walmart was doing like some sort of promotional event, you know? It was kind of weird, but in some ways, you know, it's what we got, and, you know, they actually do some interesting things. Thank you for everyone who watched this far. The support really means a lot. I hope to see you in another video, and until we see and until we see you in another video, cheers.